guys.
Hi guys.
I'm Anne.
And I'm Anne.
And together, we're Anne. Welcome to episode 4 of Wait, What?
Episode is about self-love.
And self-value. For the girlies, for the boys who question if they're, if they love themselves, how to love themselves, if they feel like they're worth it or not. So we want to take a deeper dive into this ever-growing, I think, problem that we all face in our modern day society.
Yes. Once again, we are not trained professionals and we can only speak from what we know that works for us. Maybe it doesn't work for you, and that's okay because everyone's growth is not the same. So why is this so important to us?
Well, I think this episode or this topic is so important because it's something that we all struggle with, whether we want to admit it or not. And I think, especially with the kind of line of work we do, we place a lot of our value onto the external validation. Therefore, we've never really had the need to actually reflect back properly and really think about like, hey, do we love ourselves or do we value ourselves? Because like we have that privilege of going onto our social media platforms and like getting that.
Yeah. I also feel now that you brought up like with our profession and everything, it also kind of doesn't give us the time to really reflect and see if we really love ourselves because we're so caught up in all like the noise. And sometimes, well, for me at least, we're so focused on telling people to love themselves and that we love ourselves so that we can be that example. But I haven't sat down with myself and really asked, do I love myself? So I think it's a good time to reflect as well. And I was so excited about this episode because I get to learn as well because we're at different parts of our lives and there are times when I question my worth, taking apart like the validation that we get from other people.
So do you love yourself?
Sometimes. But if you like the way you look. Anyways, so actually I find that this topic is very important because it's a topic that is always developing for each person.
Yeah.
It's a process of growth and there's no like final destination of like, yes, now I'm at a point where like I love myself and I don't need to do any more work.
Yeah.
I think it's always developing, always growing, and we can always learn more about ourselves.
Yeah. And that's also the thing, right? Like it's a lifelong journey, loving yourself, finding value in yourself.
Yeah.
And when I think about this, I kind of give up. Because it's like, damn, I have to do this for the rest of my life. Like, it's a lot of work, you know? But we never really realize that it actually gets easier every day to do the things you need to do in order to feel validated within yourself. And you just have to start. You just have to do it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a struggle because it's those moments where you know what you need to do. And sometimes you don't want to face that truth.
Yeah.
I had someone ask me when I was for some advice and I gave advice and they're like, why don't you listen to your own advice?
Are you talking about me?
No.
Because I can say the same thing.
And I actually get that quite a lot. Like, why don't you listen to your own advice? And then I was actually reflecting. I was like, I think a lot of the times is because when you really reflect on the advice you give, you realize the hard truths that you need to face.
Yeah.
So it's easier to not listen and ignore it than to actually put in the work.
But the hard work, the real self-love, I think comes in when you're ready to accept the hard truths, like you said. So going into that, what is self-love to you?
For me, self-love is understanding and taking the time for yourself, understanding your emotions, where they're coming from, and how to deal with them, whether it be through meditating or like consulting with your friends or just being around people who support you. For me, I like to be by myself and with my family because it brings me peace. And then allowing me to feel all these emotions and then understanding, okay, these are my boundaries that I need to set with the people around me. But yeah, I think it's mainly about taking the time for yourself and understanding your needs and accepting that it's okay to put yourself first and saying no.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of us confuse self-love with like a shopping spree or like, I've done this, let me go treat myself. But it's actually, again, I think it's a type of deflecting because you're avoiding your own emotions, right? And boundaries, like you mentioned, is so important because once you set your boundaries, it's you saying like, I know I deserve this. I know I don't want to deal with this because I know that I offered this to this person or whatever it is. So I think boundaries is really important, but also asking yourself the hard questions. Like I said it before, I think if you never learn from your mistakes, if you never learn as a person, you're self-sabotaging, so I think loving yourself is knowing when to stop sabotaging yourself and knowing that, okay, you have work to do as a human being in terms of you seek validation here, you don't love yourself here, you still compare yourself here. So you have to reframe the question, right? In terms of like, what is self-love to you, to what do you do to nurture yourself to become a better version of yourself? Because I think all we want to do, especially in this phase of our life, is grow and glow. Can you hear that? Grow and glow. Growing and glowing. Growing and glowing.
I was trying to think of the other one we said, but I can't remember.
Thriving and striving.
That one, yeah.
Do you think you're a good friend to yourself?
I would say no. In times of like when I'm really sad or down, I tend to be very hard on myself, or even during when I'm working, I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to succeed that I don't take a step back and give myself the validation and the credit of how much I've put in to get to this point. And I feel like it puts a lot of pressure and stress onto me that is completely unnecessary, because in the end, like, we know that external validation has its perks, but it's not the validation that you seek truly. And I feel like if I were that friend to someone else as how I was to myself, I don't think I would be a very good friend to have. So I have thought about it, and I also think to myself, okay, if like my 5-year-old self were looking at me at how I treat myself in certain situations, would she be happy? And it makes me really sad to say, like, I think she would be really sad. It almost looks like I don't love myself because I'm always putting other people's needs before my own, and I don't take the time to really feel the emotions I need in order to grow and be the best version of myself in a healthy way.
I think that's really nice that you've come to that realization. I think I know you very well, you know what I mean? And I think you're so hard on yourself, more than anybody I've met. And that's obviously because you have high expectations for yourself. But I think in doing that, even like we all do it, but we stop to forget to like smell the roses and like see like how great you actually are. And it's also like sometimes you don't want to be egotistical or narcissist, that you don't want to be like, I'm such a great person. But I think that's acknowledging self-love, because we say we have to acknowledge our flaws as well, right? But that doesn't mean you don't acknowledge your strength.
Yeah.
And hearing you say that now and knowing that you're aware that you don't treat yourself the way you deserve to be treated is really refreshing to hear. Proud of you.
Yeah. Growth. Do you think that you're a good friend to yourself?
Now, yes. I think before, no. I think up until beginning of this year, like after our Bali trip, I started to really hone in and ask myself the hard questions of what am I doing that's literally detrimental to myself right now? And I was so unhappy with who I was becoming. You don't understand how much external validation I was seeking. It was horrible. So I think then no, like going out like 4 or 5 times a week, I stopped working out. And I think that should have been alarm bells. And even my parents were like, Anne, like, why are you not going to the gym? Like, I stopped working out. I stopped moving my body. I wanted to eat anything, I would eat. But that's not me, And I was like, but I love myself. I went through this, like, I deserve a break. When no, I love working out. I love cooking good food and eating clean. Like, that's what I actually love by myself. So me doing that was just me deflecting. I think I was a horrible friend to myself. And then it ended up with health problems that you might not know that I had, but I had a lot of health problems. My skin was breaking out. My body swelled up. Like my hormones were out of whack. I missed periods. Like it was just, that should have been alarming. And I was just like, no, I'm just a girl. That's what I kept saying. Like anytime we did anything bad, we would always say, but I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
And it is horrible. But now I'm a good friend to myself because I'm disciplined. I make sure I get my gym sessions in because I love it. I make sure that I'm putting nutritious food into my mouth. If I want to go out, I will go out. But if I had work the next day, I won't do it because there were times where I remember I was out till like 3 a.m. and I had a 7 a.m. call time.
Yeah.
So now I think I'm a lot better and I know what I need.
Yeah.
I know that it's okay to be alone because you and I have been on our own quite a bit the last couple months, like individually. And I think it's been, you need it to reflect on who you are and who you want to become and ask yourself those hard questions. Yeah.
I see it as well. Like after Bali, I think we were both kind of deflecting on our pain that we claim to have resolved. But in reality, we didn't really deal with it properly. And I did notice that both of us, we were not going to the gym, we were not being healthy, we were always trying to find an excuse to live life. And then it was always like, work hard, party harder type of mindset. But then I also noticed your switch, which I was like very happy for because I know how much you work out and how much discipline you have because we've seen it before and I know how much you love the gym and like that environment. So I was really happy to see you like finally fall into place and like your skin finally cleared up and everything was just like moving in the right direction. And actually, when I see how happy you are with yourself, it actually is an inspiration for me as well to like get my shit together. Because sometimes the journey of growth is hard when you're doing it alone. But then when you have someone who like you look up to and who's really close to you, who's doing that for themselves, it actually makes you also want to get on that bandwagon. But I still don't go to the gym.
Well, that's not your passion, right? Like that's my passion. So it's very different. And you, I think, just need to find what you enjoy doing.
If no one ever clapped for you again, no likes, no applause, would you still do what you do?
I think yes. For me, I would say yes, because initially when I came into the pageant world, my idea of a beauty queen was someone who gave back to the community and someone who used their platform to be a good inspiration and role model. It was never really about how many likes I got on a picture, because after I did the face, I had a fan base from that, but then I deactivated my account and made a new one because I didn't really care so much for it. But I had my charity Little Steps Foundation, which I wanted to push and really raise awareness on giving back to the community. And that's what I'm still doing today. And if you guys notice, I don't really post that much on Instagram.
She's been better.
I've been better.
You've been better.
Yes. I think yes, I would do it, but then it would also help me focus on my foundation more than like the glitz and the glam of it all.
Yeah. I think that just shows like you're a great person.
Thanks. Tell me more.
It makes sense that that's it because it's ingrained in you. It's who you are, you know, and you're in a space where you have this massive following, but you choose to use it for good and you don't abuse it. And there's been times where it's helped, but you don't abuse it for the wrong reasons. That's what I mean. It's, you know, it's a give and take. What do I do? I'll do anything.
You're Annalise Gonzalez. What do you mean?
No, I definitely think I would because the whole campaign that I had, right, came from a place where I didn't even have that following. I didn't have that platform. I didn't come from anything. My background was sports. My background was, it was true that I never cared for how someone's body looked. I always cared for performance. And my dream was to be a volleyball player. And until this day, it's still one of those, like, that dream that got away, you know? So when I came in with Real Size Beauty, it was like, I meant it. I meant every single word of it because why are we measuring these women, especially based on how they look? And even going into the industry now and knowing what goes behind the scenes, I believe in it so much more. So I definitely would still be doing what I'm doing, but I can't lie as well that like the community, the platform that we have it makes our voices so much louder, and people listen to you more because whether you want to admit it or not, you've been put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So now it's like that extra push to keep doing it, to keep believing in it, you know, because there are times where I stopped believing in it because I lost self-worth, I lost self-value. Man, when I came back from Miss Universe and like all the hate I was getting, anyone would have given up, you know. And at this time it was actually my platform, it was the fans, it was the people who supported me that made me keep going. So it works hand in hand. Like, would I still do it? Yes. But would I still have the purpose the way I have it now? Maybe not. Yeah.
I think that, you know, we say we don't need external validation, but it's like what you said, you know, like it gives us the platform, it gives us the push to make our voices heard and to stand strong for what we believe in. And I think that's one of the good things of external validation is that it also helps you realize that what you're doing is actually working and it's actually having the reach that you intend.
Yeah.
And you have that support behind you as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are times where I'm like, "Oh, I do so many good things for the community and I only get asked about drama. Like I only get asked about the negative things."
Yeah.
But then you realize the impact that it has. And then it's your decision on how you're gonna move forward from that.
Yeah.
And I've seen times where like you talk about like real size beauty, and I feel like sometimes you don't even understand the impact that you have, you know? Like there are times where like you don't believe in yourself and you're just like you're down, and I see it, and then I'm like, you've literally changed the views of beauty during your reign up until now, has created such a massive impact on how people view beauty. Your hashtag is still being used not only in Thailand but around the world. And you know, I like it's an inspiration to me as well, you know, like sometimes you don't realize the impact you've made until someone has to tell you,
Yeah.
because you're so focused on pushing yourself to do more, to be better. And I think that's where external validation is actually a good thing, because you realize that, oh shit, I actually did that.
Yeah.
And I want you to
Yeah.
remember that for yourself as well, Miss
Try.
Scott Chemist.
I'm trying. I think the whole thing with like, I've struggled with self-worth and self-love since Miss Universe.
Yeah.
You know, obviously for obvious reasons, like what's my collab didn't make it into like the top 20 or whatever. It fucked me up, man. Like it really fucked me up in ways that like people don't understand till this day. And like I still get hate about it every single day till this day, you know? So it's like external validation, if you focus on it too much, you have to accept the hate as well, you know. And I think it's something that I'm still working on, like in the world of pageantry, in the world of Miss Universe and like the group of MUTs. Of course I'm honored to be a part of it, but the self-hate, like not even hate, but like the lack of self-love, the lack of self-value, it's like I don't deserve to be in that group, because what you've got first runner-up, you've got second runner-up, you've got top 10, top 5, top 6, like, and then there's me, you know. So it's like I don't deserve that external validation because I didn't give anything to them. And that's what I mean. Like it's like I know it's not true now, but the last 3-4 years going through it, it's like, don't compliment me because I don't deserve it.
That makes me so sad. I'm actually
Please, no, don't.
I hate me. I hate that you feel that way, because, you know, I always say to everyone, you know, like the position that you have when you compete, like, okay, a lot of people don't really understand the amount of pressure that goes into competing and having that sash of your country. Yeah. It actually really hurts me that you felt that way, because how I feel is that, you know, the position that you have on the stage is only that. It doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your success or how far you've made it and how proud you've made people, because in the end, in my opinion, out of all of us, you were the one that made the biggest impact. You wanted drama.
Love you, man.
But yeah, and I always tell like people, and I always like keep it at the back of my head that like, you know, the impact that you made was so strong because all of us go through self-doubt about our bodies and whether we're worthy or not with the sash. The impact that you made, it goes deep into people's hearts and souls and how they choose to take that for their own lesson in life. Like when I look at you, even until this day, when you speak on that stage, I can't even watch the video because I cry every single time. Every time. Your farewell speech, every time. Like I'll see like the throwbacks. I'm like, nope, I can't. Because I'm so proud of how far you've come and the impact that you've made. And it makes me so sad that sometimes you don't even see how far and how amazing you are.
Oh no, I'm emotional.
But yeah, so
Thanks, man.
yeah.
Needed to hear that actually. I'm going through it a bit. I got you, man. Still look beautiful when you cry though. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier in this episode, I don't know anyone as hard on themselves as you are. And I just like, as your friend and someone who really genuinely loves you, you've done a lot. You've done enough. You've made your impact. You've made a name for the country, bro. Like it's
Us both.
no, but this is like a whole nother level, you know? And I know that you're aware of your title, of course, but sometimes you forget that you can stop and take a break and just like put yourself first and not do more because everyone is already proud of you. You have nothing else to prove, you know? And maybe now it's time that you prove to yourself that you know how to love yourself, you know how to value yourself, so that when that competitiveness and that strive and that like need to do something is strong again, like you can do it wholeheartedly, you know? Because man, like you got to have your back.
Yeah.
More than anything.
That's true. Thank you. Love you.
This took a turn. We're going to be dramatic.
Okay, but I think that's also like linking to what you said, that comes back to self-love as well. You know, understanding when it's time to slow down and really give it all the effort you put on other things back to yourself.
Yeah.
And understanding that it's okay to take a break and to take a moment to pause, to enjoy the trees and the grass and the flowers and the sun and the sunsets and the clouds. And just to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Enjoy life for what it is.
Yeah.
And I see this trend on TikTok a lot, like, what's the trend?
Like, this is the whole point.
Yes, exactly. Like, we forget that this is the whole point. And then it's like people living their best life.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, that's right. Like, this is the whole point. The whole point of life is to live it, to enjoy it for what it is, because we don't have a lot of time on this earth. Who knows what could happen tomorrow? Yeah. And if you were to die tomorrow and you look back at your life, would you be happy with what you've made it out to be?
Food for thought for everyone watching. I think this topic is so deep and so integrated, and everyone's journey is so different, right? Like, I don't think we can cover everything, you know, but I think this is like more of our journey and the progress that we have. I realize more now after even talking to you about this was like, oh, like I actually have so much more work to do. Like I need to clear my shit out with the whole Miss Universe thing, because I hold so much of that. I think that's what's holding me back from loving myself truly. Mm-hmm. Even though like I know we both have that title of being Miss Universe Thailand, you know, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but with that also actually comes with a lot of like shit you need to deal with.
At a price.
It really comes at a price.
We talk about self-love and what needs to be done, which is different for everyone. Mm-hmm. But how would you say is a way to practice self-love for yourself? If you were to start tomorrow, what would be the first step?
Ask yourself the hard questions. What are my boundaries? What are my values? The question of, am I seeking external validation? Yeah, I think really asking yourself the hardest questions that you don't even have the answer to, and then work through them is the best way to figure out or to start this journey.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think, just even in this topic that while we're talking, I think one advice that Anne actually gave to me that I actually have not taken yet is to journal, because it's also about talking to yourself, how you talk to yourself. Like your brain is a very powerful thing, right? Like we spoke about this earlier.
Yeah.
And what you say, words cut like knives. And what you say to yourself is probably the hardest thing that you can, like, it's the easiest way to manipulate yourself. And I think speaking kindly to yourself, talking about the things that are good, the things you've accomplished, even small things like, you look beautiful today. You look happy today. I'm confident. I am special. I'm thriving. I'm glowing. Small things like that can really shape your mood and your mindset to start the day right.
Yeah.
So you guys should journal and talk about it.
Yeah.
But also even just waking up, looking at yourself in the mirror and giving yourself those like affirmations in the morning to get your headspace right.
Yeah.
Because once you're happy and your energy is good and it's glowing, you spread that good energy to the people around you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think that's really great advice. Also, you said something like you look happier. Compliment yourself on those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I think those go a long way, because everyone wants to be like, everyone claims they're good people, or they're like bubbly and whatnot. So when you start complimenting yourself and like, you look happier today, your eyes are brighter than usual, these kinds of things I think work as motivation to yourself to be kind to yourself, and therefore give yourself the space to start loving yourself, to start seeing value in yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's not physical attractiveness.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now.
Every episode. Is that a word? It is now.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. So as we close off, because it's the beginning of a new month, how do you think you will show up for yourself this month?
I'm so glad this month is here. Actually, to be completely honest, like I've told you already, like last month was really, really tough on me. And I think I was definitely not practicing self-love. I was really down and really upset with a lot of things. So I think the first thing is that I will do to show up for myself is to reflect on the good things that have happened previously. It's so easy to look at all the bad things, but okay, what are the good things? I got to spend, like, I haven't been going out. I haven't been seeing any of
I haven't seen
friends.
Anne in like 3 weeks, by the way.
Yeah, we have not been seeing each other. But as much as I miss my friends, I've been with my family a lot, and I'm very close with my family, so I've been cherishing those moments and enjoying the time with my family and my dog, and yeah, just taking time for myself. I think the first step is to appreciate the people around you.
Yeah.
And then the next step is harder, but you know what? Growing is growing. Growing is glowing.
Wait, what?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Something growing. How about you?
How will I show up for myself?
I feel like you've been doing a really good job, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. It's time to actually like acknowledge how hard I've worked. I'm just gonna keep doing me, I think I should socialize a bit more. I think I've seen my friends like twice this month. Like, that includes you. Like, I barely see people now. And so I think I need that at the moment, because I'm aware that I cannot only be the one giving myself that positivity all the time. Like, we're surrounded by such great people who are so positive and working on themselves so hard as well, that I want to learn from them a bit more. I want their energy around, because that inspires me. Like, I know that I'm the type that receives energy through people.
Yeah.
So probably showing up for myself by pushing myself to go out more and not be in my solitude too much, because that's all I've been doing, even though it's so great. But that's it's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, so putting myself through a little bit of discomfort of like getting out the house and going through the whole process. Not that seeing friends is uncomfortable. Like you get the point. You get the point. But yeah, I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
kind of do that, and hopefully we get to travel.
Yeah,
We haven't traveled
that is
together.
true. I also encourage people to try something new. Like
Yeah.
I've been talking to Alec, I want to start a new hobby. Like I want to do tennis or whatever. But I also encourage people to go out, try something new, try maybe like a new sport or something that you're not even good at.
Yeah.
Because, you know, everyone is scared of change, scared of trying something new because they're afraid they're not good at it. But, you know, change is scary.
Yeah.
And but change is good.
Yeah.
And when you're scared, that means you care. And it's just something you're not familiar with, but that doesn't mean that it's something you shouldn't try.
Yeah.
And if that change is happening and it's working for you, then you have nothing to be scared about.
Yeah.
It's about growth.
Growth. Always about growth. We're all about growing and glowing here, guys.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I don't want to end on like a negative note, but I think you guys all understand that it's a very sensitive topic, and it's also such a, like, you can see that this topic actually hits quite deep for us, and it triggers a lot of things in us that we haven't really accepted ourselves yet. So you watching this now are kind of watching like the raw reaction of these questions being asked. So we appreciate you, and we promise we won't be so...
Don't say we won't be emotional, because emotions are good.
Emotions are good, but I think down and like very, like, I know people watch for entertainment as well, you know, but I also think it's really important to have these conversations, especially with people you're close to. And like you said, it's the whole point of having this whole podcast. So bear with us as we grow and glow together.
Yes. So it's actually a journey for all of us to take with each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, every journey is a special one. And we hope that you find what you're looking for in order to love yourself a little bit more, show up for yourself, and take that first step to loving yourself.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
We love you. And again, always you can comment, critique, whatever.
Tell us your story, comment. Whatever you want in the comments, or you can even DM us on our Instagram what you want us to talk about next, what guests you want to see next in our sessions. And, you know, if you want to share something that you want us to share as well, we are more than happy to do that. This is our space, all of us. And yeah, so see you in the next episode. Bye. 5 4 3 2 1 action 5 4 3 2 1 5 นานๆที I mean what's that in Thai in English long time
Once in a while.
long time